What's up, cosplay family? Welcome to the Geek Out. I'm your host, Tara from the Cos Parlor. I go live every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I invite a guest from the cosplay community to talk about all things cosplay. This is a safe and fun space where we can celebrate each other and learn from one another. Tonight's guest is Katie Gangel. She's TicTock's favorite 13th Doctor, and she's given the character a new life outside of the show Doctor Who. She takes her fan fiction and uses it to help others relate to difficult situations, offering solace through the extension of a character she clearly loves. She's also taken that love to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. She's a breath of fresh air, a positive role model for me, as well as many others out there in the community. But before bringing her on, let's catch up with Jeeves. Hey Jeeves, how's it going?
Yes, bring on the doctor.
Yes.
Yes, bring on the doctor.
All right, let's bring her on, shall we? Well, while we're waiting for Katie, I just wanted to let you all know a few things. There's been some questions about my cosplay from Gunpowder Milkshake. And I have actually made a YouTube tutorial about how I sourced all of the things for that. And it's there's actually a link in the bio, so you can find it. But I think Katie's ready. So everybody get ready to meet the doctor. Hey, Katie.
Hi. First of all, your intro I saw your intro and it made me go, thank you. Second of all, I saw your Gunpowder Milkshake cosplay.
Yeah.
I literally watched that movie like Amy and Crystal, Leo the Lion and Leif of Ronan on TikTok. I watched it with them. Oh my God, I love that movie so much.
Wasn't it amazing?
It was so
such
good.
a great movie. Oh my God.
Oh my God, it is so much fun.
I know, it really is. And doing the cosplay for Sam has been so much fun. And I went to a convention last week and I was like, no one's going to know who I am. No one will know who I am at this convention. And sure enough, only one person knew who I was, and I ran up to him and hugged him. I was like, thank you.
Oh my God, that is a movie where first of all, I hate the fact that certain movies will never be considered for Oscars or for just because of the genre they're in, i.e., you know, Toni Collette was robbed a few years ago when she didn't get nominated for Hereditary. This Gunpowder Milkshake deserves an Academy Award nomination at least for its cinematography.
I know.
Gorgeous movie.
Amazing cinematography. Beautiful.
Absolutely incredible.
Oh my gosh.
And I would literally die to protect the librarians. I love them all.
I know. I was so sad. When was it Madeline?
Yes.
I don't want spoilers, everyone.
Yes,
I was
major
sad.
spoilers. Major spoilers.
I was so sad. Like, it broke my heart, and I was just like, but beautiful. She was rocking it out, and with like Janis Joplin, and
yes,
with the 50 caliber machine gun. Yes. I was like, yeah.
Also, it's now headcanon that those two children's sections exist in the TARDIS.
Yes.
The enchanted forest and the never-ending ocean. Those absolutely exist in the TARDIS, even though
I'm glad that the TARDIS has accommodated those.
Absolutely. Even though I think only certain doctors would, like, 9 would watch that movie and kind of be in on the joke. 10 would watch it and laugh. 11, I think, would like just leave halfway through.
Yeah, you'd be like, too much blood.
Yeah, 11 and 13 would be like, nope. Ooh, that's cool. Nope. And then I think 12 would just be bored.
He'd either be bored or he'd be cussing the entire time.
Yes.
Think of Malcolm Tucker meets 12 and watching Gunpowder Milkshake.
I feel like one opportunity was missed where we didn't get at least, you know how they'll sometimes do the cutoff swears, where it's clear you know what the character is going to say, but they cut away. I think we needed at least one of those with Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, absolutely.
They missed an opportunity with that.
Yeah, they did. I loved him. He was such a cantankerous doctor, which was really nice because it was so different from what we've been used to with the rebirth of Doctor Who, but it brings it back to that very first original Doctor. He was very similar. You know, they were very similar.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
12 is not my favorite, but for me, that's like saying, strawberry ice cream is not my favorite. I still love strawberry ice cream.
Right. Yeah.
But I was very concerned about Capaldi when I first saw him, but I'll never forget. Like, I had watched a couple of episodes and I was just like, I don't know about this. And then there was I remember it so clearly. It was the forest episode where the kids go out on a field trip and that one little girl gets lost.
Yeah.
And she knocks on the TARDIS and I was thinking, no. And he opens the TARDIS and he gets down on her level and he's talking to her and I'm like, oh my God. Okay, we're good. He's still the doctor. We're good.
Yeah.
We're still good. Oh, yeah. Hi, Roger. I'm like, we're still good. Okay, he's the doctor.
We have a lot of people saying that he's, like, right now commenting that he's their favorite doctor. He
definitely, I think, has, while Matt has my favorite speech of all time, the Rings of Akatan speech, Peter probably has the strongest, which is the Zygon War speech.
Oh, yeah.
How long before everyone does what they should have done in the first place? Sit down and talk.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's like it's like the key to anything in the world is communication.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you so much for coming onto the show. I'm so excited to actually talk to you.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I've been watching you from afar for a while, and I've watched you develop your character, and it's just blowing my mind how you've come so far in such a short amount of time.
Thank you. She has resonated with me in a way that I have three favorite doctors. That's 8 because I got introduced to 8 through, I saw the movie, and while I have mixed feelings about the movie, I actually think it falls into the so bad it's good category.
Yes.
He as Paul McGann as the doctor, and Eric Roberts as the master is hands down. They own that movie, and the companion. I think Charlotte, was that her name?
Yes, she was a doctor.
She was good too. They were the 3 standout performances of the movie, and they were outstanding. And then I started listening to Big Finish. Then I love 11. 11 kind of cemented my love of the Doctor all the way through. And then 13, it's kind of hard for me to.
11.
It's like she's become the brighter part of me, or she came into my life when I really, really needed her. Yeah. Because what happens is my boyfriend lives in Walthamstow, England.
Okay.
So I usually go out. I got into Doctor Who when I was in college. And the first episode I ever watched was The Empty Child. And I think that shocks a lot of people that I stayed on after that. 9 was my first Doctor. And as we all know, you never forget your first.
Yeah, you never do.
And I went through about 3 regenerations in a row. I went through 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
And then because of COVID, I didn't get to go to England. So I had held off on watching Jodie's series until I was going to see him, but then that got cut off. That trip obviously didn't happen because the US shut down and England shut down.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then Jodie put out her pandemic message, where she's in the closet and she says, "I'm hiding from an army of Centaurans."
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but that stuck with me. And from there, we watched the series virtually together. We streamed it. And she became she's like the person that I always wish I could be, because she finds happiness and joy in the smallest things. Like there's a moment where everyone remembers the 11 line, "I hate being patient. Patience is for wimps." And that's the Doctor in a nutshell. The Doctor's not good at waiting. But when
that's why he hates taking the long way around. That's why he has the blue box.
Exactly. And when she's at Kerblam, she says, "I was hoping for something a little less repetitive." But she still finds that connection with Kira. Everything is exciting to her, and everything is fascinating to her. But it never feels like toxic positivity.
No,
the
it
Doctor,
was very genuine. I almost it was really like seeing someone who's been a man for so long finally have a body of a woman and then getting used to all the chemicals that a woman has.
Exactly.
And like really, she did an amazing job. Oh my God, like I cry every time I watch an episode because it's like she can go from joking around to like, "Don't you ever cross me," like in a heartbeat.
Yes.
And then
exactly.
It's just like just her passion, like the passion. All of the Doctors have had it, but there's just something about it, the way she delivers it. It's just, I get teary-eyed every time. Like, I choke up. I look over at my husband. He's like, we're both crying.
There is my favorite moment of all time with Jodie is the Soul Attract Frog scene, where she says, I wish I could stay, because she means it. The Doctor is always one for making new friends and having new experiences and seeing something new and learning something new, because the Doctor understands that the universe is constantly in change. Nothing can, and that is amazing to the Doctor.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's basically how I think everyone should see the world, like through those eyes, because that's like, if you live life that way and in the present, in the moment, and really experience things and take them for what they are, like how can you not find joy in all the little things out there?
Even when she's at her even when she's in prison, she finds ways to keep herself as the Doctor.
I know.
And I remember when I watched it wasn't Revolution of the Daleks. That was the New Year's special 2019. Right. It was something of the Daleks. Shoot, I can't remember. But it's a scene. It was
her second season. It
was her second season, and she there's a line for millions of people all over the universe. Dalek means hate. And then later on she says, I am the one who stops the Daleks. And for me, that kind of resonated as, I am the one who stops the hate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Doctor throughout every single form. Tom Baker, Peter Capaldi, Christopher Eccleston. I am the one who stops the hate.
Yeah, it's that common thread that they all have. It's that essence of the Doctor that they all
exactly.
And it's like it's the one constant throughout all of the change that is associated.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, well, I want to ask you a few questions.
Absolutely.
So because I'm curious about a lot of things, and I'm sure if I'm curious, there's others out there that are very curious as well. So I noticed, like, the way you do your cosplay, it's like you basically have incorporated it into your life.
Yes.
And I love that, because I'm pretty much have kind of done the same thing. And I know a lot of people out there. If there's something you love that much, why not, right?
Exactly. Why not?
What was it that actually inspired you to start doing cosplay this way?
Oh, do you mean the videos where you actually see me as Katie interacting with the Doctor?
Well, no,
just in general, just like
in general, like your mission, like the mission that you have as cosplaying 13.
One, as I've said before, she is a character that when I put on this costume, I feel joy and light and excitement, and I love making people genuinely laugh. I love making people genuinely smile. I love helping people in any way that I can, whether it's something small or something intense. Like it was Jodie's inspiration. It was Jodie's videos that got me into doing some of the Doctor's, like some of the Doctor's videos, like panic attacks, anxiety attacks, addressing topics like domestic abuse or self-harm, because this is a character who has seen it all and knows so much. But also knows that there was a little bit of controversy in the episode Can You Hear Me? When when Graham is talking to the Doctor, and the Doctor says, "I'm still quite socially awkward, so I'm going to subtly walk to," and a lot of people thought, oh, she took it as a joke. If you watch Jodie's performance, that's not a joke.
No,
that's someone.
I feel like she does have social anxiety. She feels awkward in social circumstances. She feels unsure about being herself, because some people feel like maybe it's too harsh or too crude or too weird or whatever. And I think she senses that, and she feels sensitive to it. And that's probably why she feels that anxiety.
And also, the Doctor, being thousands of years old, what do you say to someone who knows you literally have no idea what's going to happen to someone who has had cancer or who has a life-threatening illness? Could the scene have been handled a little bit better? I actually do think so. I think it could have been handled better if she said, I'll eventually think of something to say that might have been helpful, but until then, and she just goes over and gives him a hug or something like that. But
that's how you would have liked to have seen that scene go.
Exactly. But
but
I think it is very much, the Doctor has,
she's almost human. Like, there's something about her that's human. I don't know what it is.
Exactly.
And I know there's lots of fan theories out there about the hybrid, and what is the hybrid, and is it the Doctor, and is the Doctor really human? Is there some human DNA in there? I think, in my heart and soul, yes, there has to be. But I could be wrong. Who knows? That's the beauty of Doctor Who.
Exactly. And I think for me, it's doing videos where I can say to someone, as the doctor, no one can ever know what you're going through except you.
Right.
But I can be there for you in any way. And even if it's something small, and people have told me, I got a message from a father earlier this week. He said his daughter was taking Jody leaving very hard. And I took Jody, finding out that Jody was leaving very hard. He said, would you be willing to do a video addressing her as the doctor? And there was no question.
Yeah.
If I can do something like that for someone to just, especially for a little kid, to make them smile, to bring them joy, this is actually a quote I got from Say Yes to the Dress, but if you can do something for someone that they know that they could never do for themselves, you can't describe that feeling. So if I can make it my mission in life to make somebody smile and genuinely laugh every single day, even if it's at me doing something stupid like shoving a cupcake into my mouth, it's worth it. I love doing it.
I know. You're what I call a day maker. And a day maker is, okay, so you never know what anyone's going through at any time of the day. You know, and when you interact with people, you have no idea that what you say, how it would impact them, you know? And I come from a service industry in my past. And one of the things that we were always taught was every time you're with someone, make their day. Be a day maker, because it can change someone's life. It can change someone's life. I mean, literally. It can one thing that keeps someone from feeling so alone and so down.
Exactly.
That they pick up a phone and call someone to get help. You know,
exactly.
It's like you never know.
The tiniest, and that's another thing that the doctor would know, the tiniest action can have the biggest impact.
Right. And I think when you say, like, you look at Jodie's doctor, this essence about that character, and you want to be that character, you have resonated that character is resonating out of you. Like, you've really made that. But I honestly feel like you were attracted to that character because deep down inside of you, it was already there. But she just helped bring it out of you.
You're going to make me cry, because that's true. I have always had, and I've never strayed away from this. I've always had issues with depression and anxiety and, going through my own things. She is the difference between, let's say, and I love this movie. I feel like this movie is one of the best movies out there. The difference between the doctor and Joy from Inside Out is, while both see the joy and the incredible happiness in life, one of them knows when things are not okay and acknowledges it, but is still able to be like, no matter what, no matter how you're feeling, I'm not gonna let anything happen to you.
Yeah. It's like comfort, knowing that someone's there, even in your darkest moments. You know that someone's there thinking about you. It's just it makes you feel like you're connected, and then everything's so much better when you feel connected to somebody. That's what I love about this community, is that we all feel so together when we get together. I mean, I love that we can talk to each other about things and share deep secrets or fantasies or whatever it is. and it just brings us closer together. Oh my gosh, we got some great comments going on right now. How do you say this? Stone Cursal. She said, or he or she, they said, you made myself believe in myself again when I was in a dark place in my mind back then. So you're touching hearts. Hail to
that
the
is
danger, Welsh Fox. Hail to the danger.
Hi, Welsh Fox. Hi, Jamie. And that's my goal. That's why I love acting, and I love performing, and I love finding the character. But if I can genuinely make somebody happy or smile or feel comforted or know that someone has their back if they're going through a hard time, or sees and not just, and you know, and who never just says it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, because that's not, you know, knowing that.
No, it's true. And you're never supposed to give false hope. And saying something like is giving false hope to somebody, even if it is true, you shouldn't give hope that may not come. And just like you, just knowing that you're there, and I don't know what you're going through, but I will be here, and I'm there with you. And it that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Hi, Ross. Oh my gosh, all the fam is here. Ross is here. The members of the TARDIS fam are all here. I think Maddie was here. Like everybody's here. Oh my gosh. And it's late over there. Like, people are joining us from the UK, and it's like,
I know,
it's 2-3 in the morning over there.
Top of the morning to you. Hello, everyone.
Oh, I didn't expect to cry, but I always do. At some point, I always cry.
I'm super emotional too. Can't help it. I'm an empath. It's just something. So how did you get into the TikTok videos? Because I know a lot of us out here, I'm kind of interested in it too myself. Because I look at TikTok and it just scares me to death. I'm not going to lie. How did you get into it? Because I looked at your TikTok and I scrolled and I scrolled and I scrolled. I looked at a lot of your videos, and I noticed that when I finally got down to the bottom, you just like took off with a bang. Like, you really did.
So it just kind of happened where I downloaded the app. I hadn't touched it for a while, and I was going to take it on as just like doing multiple cosplays. But then the more I started doing 13, and the more I felt connected to this character, and that I could explore this character in a way that they may not do in the show or in the comics and the books, which I will always sing the praises of the comics.
Katie, that's what I love so much about what you do, is that you bring 13 to life outside of that realm, because I'm a huge fan, and it's like, I'm jonesing hard for a new season and new series. Like, and like having you on TikTok and watching you, it's like, oh, the doctor's still here and I'm still watching. It's just so good. Have you read the comics? No. Well, no, I haven't. Oh my gosh. 13's comics.
Oh, okay. So you've gotten, hang on, I'm pulling them all out because I sing the praises of these comics for, I can't go anywhere without these. These are like my favorite 13 materials. So all of these.
Okay.
If you haven't read particularly Hidden Human Histories, it's the second one in the series. It's one of three. There's the 3-line, which starts with A New Beginning, goes into Hidden Human Histories, and I think ends with, I can't remember which one it gets with. But there's another one, and then you have the two, the 10 crossover, which I love. It starts off with A Little Help from My Friends, and then Alternating Currents, which is actually heartbreaking because it gets into, we get another Skithra queen in that. But Hidden Human Histories is literally so human and so beautiful. that it made me cry the first time I read it. And then there's another one that's really hard to find that I'm halfway through. That's Mistress of Chaos. And this actually came from the Doctor Who magazine. And this one is really dark. This is the one where if you wanted to see 13 really get into 12 mode or 9 mode, this is the one to go for. But I love, I just, these explore her so beautifully. And
you find inspiration from this comic. You draw inspiration from them out with your fan fiction. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
I love it. Art, inspiring art.
Yes. Hi, Robbie. Oh, you have a kitty.
Yes, this is my Olive. We have four cats. I had 2 cats, and my husband had 2 cats, and we got 4. This is Olive. The 3 of them got along, and then one of them, my Henry, he did not get along. He's very alpha, and he's a ginger. So he was like, I am an outlander, and I will slaughter you all. We had to go through this whole process. It took a year of acclimating them. But anyway.
Oh, no.
Tell me a little bit about the Michael Chekov technique that you studied while you were getting your master's degree in theater.
Oh, that was actually when I was getting my bachelor's degree, but I learned about it No worries. Right. I learned about it from my teacher, Dawn Arnold, who was actually a master of the Michael Chekov acting technique. Mm-hmm. And what's unique about that technique is it allows you to step in and step out of the character without, while still maintaining your own emotions and your own distance from the character through physical and emotional and finding the character's gestures. I
think you've got that down, because I feel like your mannerisms are like on point with
you.
Doctor. Like you really do have her mannerisms down with the gestures, with your movement and with your speech. In terms of like applying Michael Chekov to 13, yes,
it's very much about finding the center of the character. So for 13, for the Doctor in general, and I'm repositioning, so it's kind of easier for me to show like this, is the Doctor has 2 centers. The Doctor, or at least 13, has 2 centers. 13 has the head and 13 has the heart. Mm-hmm. There's the head, the heart, and the will. This is so amazing. Everything. There's so much. The love of science. It's brilliant. She can create. She can find anything. Like she could probably make these AirPods levitate in midair and save the world from Daleks. But she's also very human and able to connect with people. Mm-hmm. And there is a softness there, and there is a power there. Whereas 11 is very head driven, but is also very heart driven and very open. 12 very head driven, very will driven. And it's also in being able to find the physicality of the character, mm-hmm. where something like the Michael Chekov technique differs from saying going method, which I actually have some issues with, is it's always Katie playing the Doctor. Yes. It's never Katie becoming the Doctor, because
big difference between that you absolutely love about the Michael Chekov as opposed to the method is that you're not becoming the Doctor. It's Katie and the Doctor.
Yes, it's 2 different. It's basically what would I guess the best way to describe it is if The doctor is a suit that I'm putting on. It's a living, breathing suit, but at the end of the day, or when I'm done filming, I can take it off and I can go back to Katie and I can be like, okay, that was great, but I've had enough, and I'm able to step away, and I'm able to step out of my, I'm able to step out of the character's head, where I think, and I know some people swear by going method scares me, because if you cannot step out of your character's mind and emotions, that for me, I fear can go to very, very dark places.
You feel like you put yourself in portraying that character or becoming that character.
I did a rehearsal process once where I did a very small show where I had to play an emotionless serial killer. And I was rehearsing with Dawn, and there was one point where I was in the middle of the rehearsal and I was like, we have to stop. We need to stop, and we need to step away, because I did not like where I was at that time. And if you can't disassociate yourself from that, you risk yourself getting hurt. And really, nothing is worth hurting yourself, hurting your mental health. You're putting yourself at risk. You're putting the production at risk. Right. So that the Michael Chekov to me is what is just what always has worked for me. If method works for other people, that's phenomenal. If Stanislavski works for other people, that's great. But for me, it's finding the doctor in the positive energy, in the movements, in the words, in the connection. Exactly, because 13 is always, oh, this is incredible, this is amazing. You're wearing my same shirt. Actually, your shirt looks better than mine because it's got the shoulders out a little bit more. But then it's able to, like, it's easy for me, and because 13 has two hearts, it's that lightness and that energy and that excitement, and even when she's in jail, stay strong. There are people who are counting on you. I'm like, you've literally gone through every single doctor, regardless, has gone to hell and back. Yeah. Whether it, regardless of who has ever played them, every single doctor has been brought to the brink and has been brought back, and that is an incredible amount of strength. Yeah, it's a great role model for children, for adults. Yes, exactly. For those watching, is there any one tip from the technique that you use that other cosplayers could probably use for their cosplay? Like a quick tip that's just real easy, or is it? I don't know. I feel like there are a lot, but if you take your time before, if you want to perform, that's a great step. Take your time when you to step into your character, or find a gesture that really resonates with you for that character. The gesture for doing 13 is going to be 1,000,000% different than the gesture for Loki, or the gesture for, or a gesture for Wanda, or a gesture for Beast Boy. It doesn't matter. But when you find, because for me, for the doctor, it's all like, oh, that's drawn to seeing everything. It's literally wanderlust. I feel like it's like the thing that she has, like that's her biggest. Exactly. There is a moment. I'm so sorry for interrupting. Okay. There's a moment where in the comics, she is they're looking at a new galaxy, and she literally says, the sentient nebula of, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, just lovely seeing them through new eyes. That's beautiful. I think every day you should look at the world through new eyes. Exactly. You should pray every morning when you wake up.
And by the way, I love your positive notes every morning. Like, I look forward to them.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I love it.
I just like doing them I like doing them for friends. I can't do them for everybody. Otherwise I would, and there are some days where I like take off because there are times where it does get emotionally draining, and I firmly believe in the spoon theory, and I don't want to just send out something random if I don't feel like,
no. If you don't feel it, do it. Because if it's not genuine, it's not, and I don't want anything that's not real. So I love it so much. So now we're at the moment of the ultimate convention. We're getting ready to send you on a 3-day convention to anywhere in the universe that you would like to go. So it's a 3-day convention, and you get to have 3 ultimate cosplays for each day. And then you also get to meet 1 celebrity, and then you get a photo op, but it can't be the same celebrity that you want to meet, so you'll meet both of them, but you'll have a photo op with one, and you'll get to meet the other. So that's a very tough thing, because usually for me it's the same. So this is a little bit of a challenge, maybe. So first question, where in the universe would you like the convention to be held?
Okay, so I've thought about this. Set amount of tickets are sold, and I've got one. Set amount of tickets are sold, and I've got one. The entire of Disney World, or Disneyland. No, here you go. The entirety of Disneyland World is. Oh no, Disneyland is the OG. I'm sorry, that sounded really. But Disneyland did come before Disney World. I'm a Disney fanatic. I apologize.
Disneyland is the OG. You want it to be at Disneyland or Disney World?
I'm gonna go, even though it is much more spread out, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
It's a set event, and only a certain amount of tickets are sold. But it's for it's for the whole weekend. A certain amount of tickets are sold for the whole weekend. The entirety of Disney World is shut down, and every single day, the con is held at a different park. So the first day, the con is held at the Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
And it's only a certain amount of tickets, and the entirety of the park is done up where the different area, where the different lands represent different genres. So Adventureland is action adventure genre. You have all of the, oh my God, seeing all of the Ghostbusters outside of the Haunted Mansion.
I do a Janine. I do a mean Janine.
Yes. Oh, and you know, you can wear your costumes. You have characters walking around as well.
Awesome.
It's all, but you know, and the
first
food price.
Kingdom. Yeah. What would cosplay be that night at the Magic Kingdom? What are you going to be wearing? Okay.
I know that is so cliche. But
no, it's not.
This is where I would go, or I would do the what I'm going to call the cheat, which is from Friday morning until Friday afternoon. I'd be in the blue shirt. Okay. Then I go back to the hotel and switch into the red shirt for the remainder of the day.
Okay.
So I would be doing variations of her look for the first day.
All right. What about the second day? What would you do the second day?
Second day would probably be at Epcot.
Okay.
And the cheat answer would be to do her Haunting of Villa Dolte cosplay. But I would also wonder if for one day I would switch it up just a tiny bit and go for another one of my cosplays that I don't do very often anymore, which is either Weiss Schnee from Ruby or Castiel from Supernatural.
Oh yeah.
Because 13 is one of the first female cosplays that I felt legitimately comfortable in. Mm-hmm. I as a person do not feel comfortable showing a lot of skin. Like, that's just not who I am. But very rare, on occasion, you know, and Weiss has a lot, not a ton of cleavage showing, but she does have some like skin showing up there. But I would love, oh God, doing Weiss in the Norway pavilion outside of Frozen Ever After, because everybody considers her the Ice Queen. That would be awesome. But yes. Okay, Vicky, you're going to like this. I see that in costume. So, I see that question. So, for the third day takes place at Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
Hollywood Studios contains Galaxy's Edge. So for the first half of the day, and remember, this is a ticketed event where only a certain amount of tickets have been sold. This is my con, setting it up. The park is not at full capacity. There is almost no wait for anything. First half of the day, I show up in Spyfall.
Oh, I need to know.
First half of the day, I show up completely in Spyfall. I'm doing Indiana Jones. I go to Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. I'm rocking my suit. I'm having a great time. Second half of the day, which is it's Sunday. So it's the final day of the convention. It happens at Galaxy's Edge. And that is where I break out this guy.
Okay. Oh, yes. Your Jedi crossover.
Yes. I would go in full Jedi. I would do $200, but I would make my own lightsaber. I would get a Ronto wrap. I would just walk around. I would get the whole fam together. We would do Smuggler's Run, which you need a team of 6 to do. But that's what I end on. So Magic Kingdom is 13 in red and blue shirts. Epcot is Villa Dolce, and then possibly another cosplay that I haven't done in a while. Yeah. And then, yes, Spyfall and Universal Studios, especially if I did, I'm sorry, I'm a theme park nerd.
Because, like, you can get any cosplay, it's like, money's not an issue.
Right.
Accessibility is not an issue. It's like, think it, you have it.
Exactly. And I would also do, I do have a Hufflepuff coat, and there's an amazing fan art of 13 Hufflepuff as a Hufflepuff. Even though I love Harry Potter, I have a lot of issues with J.K. Rowling because she's transphobic and trans lives matter. No haters on my page at all. So, but I like to believe that when she said those things, Minerva McGonagall sent out an owl to her saying Hogwarts now disowns you. Because Minerva McGonagall is a badass and she would do that. But I do have, if I can go grab it, and I do a lot of I should point out, running is not exclusive to this interview. I have done running. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Here it is. I have too many costumes. For those of you
you need to
who
start
wanted to see this,
like the scene.
For those,
what do you? Oh yes, that's really nice.
For those of you who want, this is actually official. The official robe from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I got it a few years ago.
Love that. All right. With that being said, who would be your ultimate meet and greet?
Aside from Jodie?
Well, if it's Jodie, it's Jodie. But if you want to have a photo with Jodie, then save that for the photo. But so yes,
I would. Oh, the thing is, the meet and greet. Because this one is such a. Yes, Newton 13 would be besties because of their love of animals. This is the meet and greet allows you more time with the person.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
And I would have and yes, I feel like Hogwarts and half the HP fandom have disowned J.K. Rowling. Yes.
Well, I know, like in meet and greets, you can do selfies too. It's like you can get a selfie. Great. So.
And I would want above a photo. I would want more time to tell Jodie what she has done for me and what she has given me something that it's not even something that I can explain, or it's not even something that I can. I want to look at her and tell her, not only have you given me a doctor, you've given me a family. You've given me a platform. You've given me a way to. You've given me someone who. There are times when I hear and feel 13 in me, not saying everything is going to be okay, but just being there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would want that time to just tell her, I am completely and utterly indebted to you because you have given me a second heart.
Yeah.
And I actually am thinking about getting a tattoo in Gallifreyan. I've never gotten a tattoo, but I want to get a tiny, even though I'm not like, not sure, but a tiny tattoo in Gallifreyan that says 13 is my second heart.
Well, I really hope that dream comes true and you get to meet her. I really do. I believe that will come true because I know it does come true. If you put mind to it and you just do whatever you can to make it possible, and it'll happen. Cons are starting back up, and I know with everything going on, it's up in the air, but I do know that she's at the Gallifrey 1 convention coming up soon. So
wait, she is going to be.
I do believe. Check again, but I did think that I saw her and a couple companions that were going to be there.
Would now be a good time to announce that unless the United States shuts down, I am going to be at Gallifrey 1.
No.
That is official. Unless the U.S.
If you go, I go, we have to find each other and get some photos together.
Unless I'll put my other coat back on, but it is official. Unless we shut down again, I will be at Gallifrey 1 this coming February, and very, very few people know that, but it is now official that I will be at Gallifrey 1.
So what's your photo op going to be for this ultimate convention? I'm dying because photos are fun because you can really
photos.
If the person that you're getting is has a good sense of humor, you can really get some really creative photos.
Oh gosh, because I've been lucky enough to do some really phenomenal photos. My best photo actually, and I carry and I walk around, was actually, this photo was $400, but it was so worth it. Misha, Jared, and Jensen, that was absolutely incredible.
Oh my gosh.
And Mark Shepard from Supernatural. Meeting Alec Tudyk was great because I got to tell him that he was what I'm blanking on his last name, but what John is to. Why am I blanking on his last name? He does a cameo in every single Pixar movie. John Ratzenberger.
Oh yes.
What John is to Pixar, he is to Disney. And he got kind of choked up at that. And I made him. I've been very lucky. I got Tom Hiddleston's autograph, so I got to meet Tom. If I had to go all out for okay. So here's what I would do. If at Galley One they ever did this, let's say hypothetically, you got Eric Roberts, John Sim, Derek Jacobi, Michelle Gomez, and Sacha Dhawan in a photo op all together, and I go in dressed as the Doctor. I need that. I need five masters. There's your next fan fiction. Five masters and the Doctor.
That's great. Oh my gosh. All right.
Oh,
so I need to wrap this up so we can. So if anyone's just joined us, we've been talking to Katie about her ultimate convention, and she has told us that her ultimate convention would be held in Disney World. The first day would be in the Magic Kingdom, and she would be wearing her blue variant the first half of the day of 13th Doctor, and then switch into her pink or red variant in the second half. And then the second day would be Epcot Center. And who was her cosplay? You said
it was Villa Dolte from the vest from
Spyfall, because you
no. It would be either Weichny or Castiel from Supernatural. Spyfall would be on day 3 in Hollywood Studios.
Yes, that's it. That is it. So day 3 with Hollywood Studios, amazing. And then your photo op would be with 5 masters, which I can't name them all, but all the characters, John Sim, Michelle Gomez, Eric Roberts, Sasha, last name?
Derek Jacobi.
Yes, Derek Jacobi. And then your meet and greet would be with Jodie Whittaker herself, which would be amazing.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I hope I get one of those tickets to that convention, because it's only a few amount of tickets sold, and hopefully I could get one of those tickets too.
You were the one who brought up this idea, so you definitely get those tickets.
Yes, awesome.
But it would be a limited event. Only so many people could get in, and it would be like a once in a lifetime. And knowing Disney, they would be like extremely expensive. I would do it. It would be worth it, because you'd have the con, and then you'd have reduced prices on the food, and then you'd be able to meet all of the characters, and then you could and then there'd be no wait for the rides as well.
Exactly. You get to ride too, and who knows, you might even get to ride next to your favorite character.
Exactly. The photo. Oh my God, imagine all of the Doctors on Splash Mountain.
That would be
the photo op. The photo ops
on
that would be amazing. Oh my God.
Well, Katie, I have to wrap it up right now. I just want to remind everyone real quick that we do this every Wednesday, same time, same place, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And you can check out previous episodes on the IG tab. Also, please check out Katie's social media, IG, TicTock, Twitter. I know you have a Twitter. Next week we have the Real Rick Grimes coming on.
Awesome.
We're going to talk about The Walking Dead. So,
nice.
Would you join me in a dance? I'm going to put my jacket on too, and I thought
absolutely.
All right, perfect. All right.
Let's see if I can get this right. Oh gosh, okay. I've only ever. Oh my God, your coat is. Wait, where did you get your coat? Or is yours cosplay company as well?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, great. Oh yay, we're both wearing the cosplay company.
I love this jacket. I originally bought the first one and it didn't have a pocket, so I added one. But now I got a new one because I wanted a bigger one. I needed a bigger one.
I originally got the small. Okay.
All right, here comes the music. Are you ready?
No, but yes.
Oh my God, Katie, thank you so much.